Hi, I'm Melissa from FlutterBear Creations, and I just wanted to go over some very basic computer usage things that you need to know when it comes to having an embroidery machine. So if you have an at-home embroidery machine, the first thing you're going to notice is that these machines are computerized, and while some don't require a computer to use, you certainly get the most out of them by having a computer and knowing how to use them in conjunction with the machine that you own. So today we are going to be focusing on what is called the 60 Explorer Plug-in by Husqvarna Viking or Pfaff. They are the same. And a couple little things that you need to know to use your computer functionally with this. So first thing I want to show you that are two things that often get confused when we tell people things about the software. Often are confused are the terms Internet Explorer and Windows Explorer. These are two different things, and you need to know the difference. Almost everybody is familiar with Internet Explorer, and you'll see that when you have the little E. Little blue E has kind of been its symbol for as long as I can remember. Internet Explorer helps you to find things on the web, on the internet, things that are not on your computer, things that you cannot access unless you have internet access. So if you were to shut off your internet access and look on your computer, you know, things that are on the web would not show up. You need Internet Explorer and internet access to be able to view things that are on the internet, and you will use Internet Explorer. There are lots of other browsers. This is considered a browser. Internet Explorer is a browser. I actually use a browser called Firefox. So you'll see I have this one here. It's my little orange and blue icon here with the fox around a globe. I just out of preference prefer Firefox. But you can use either one, and there are lots of other browsers out there. Most people have Internet Explorer because it is what comes built in onto most computers today. Now the other thing I wanted to show you was called Windows Explorer, and on Windows 8 you will see this icon. It's just a yellow folder. It looks like the old Office folders, the little manila folders, and that is Windows Explorer. Windows Explorer will show you files that are on your computer, not files on the web, files on your computer. So if you want to view things that are on the web, you use Internet Explorer. If you want to view things that are on your computer, such as your personal files, your music, your pictures, your embroidery files, things like that, you use Windows Explorer. If you click on Windows Explorer, you'll pull that up and you will see the different drives. My computer happens to have two different drives the way that it is set up. So Lenovo tends to do two drives for a couple different reasons. Yours may be set up differently. You'll also see file folders for the most common regions of your computer to store things. Pictures, music, downloads, documents, desktop, videos. Now if you have a different version of Windows, things may look a little differently. But you'll see on the side here is a navigational pane, and you can see these are all the different computers on my home network. These are the same folders. These are desktop, desktop, documents, documents. So you'll see all of these correspond to different things that you're seeing here. It's just a different way to view them. So if you click on desktop, it's going to show you all the folders that I have on my desktop. The desktop is what we call this main region out here. So you'll see curl shortcuts, FBC, FBC. Now yours is obviously going to be much different than mine. What you have on your computer is very different because we all store different things. But this is just a different way to get to the same place on your computer. You can use Windows Explorer and go to desktop, and you'll be able to view the desktop. If I click the up arrow, it's going to go back out to this folder here that we saw. This is the main area for Windows Explorer. My documents, downloads. Now, if you download something from the web, for instance, if you went to a website and you bought embroidery files, there's a very good chance that your computer is set up to put them in your download folder. If you double click or click on your download folder to open it, you will see anything that you have downloaded from the web here in the downloads folder, and then you can take it from here and copy and paste it or cut it and paste it into a different location after it's downloaded. But most of the time browsers are set up to put things right into this download folder. So if you're not sure where something went that you downloaded from the web, check your downloads folder. I have mine set up to actually go right onto my desktop, but that is something that I chose to have it do by preference. Most of you will need to go into your Windows Explorer and your downloads to find anything that you get on the web. So those are a quick overview. Now I want to show you something about your Windows Explorer. Windows Explorer comes with coding built into it that will allow you to view your files as thumbnails. Thumbnails are picture versions. So right now you see these, you see a little tiny thumbnail, looks kind of like a little sunset or something tiny, and you see the name, but you can't see what it actually looks like. I can see that this is a Chevy Impala, but obviously it doesn't look like a Chevy Impala. This is a different view. So what we want to do, right now we're on the Home tab, we want to go over here to the View tab, and I always have these three things checked. These are different ways to view the same files, okay? So right now it says we're on small icons. Well, they're very small. They're so small it's not going to show you what it looks like. If you go to details, it's going to give you all kinds of information. It'll give you the small icons, the names, the date it was created, what kind of file it is, the size, and more. There are lots more things that you can view if you right click. You can add more tabs here to just keep finding information if there's information you want. I always pick large icons or extra large so I can actually see what I'm looking at. Now I can see my Chevy Impala. Okay, that's a picture. Now I know what it looks like. So your computer is capable of viewing photos. These are .jpegs or .tiffs, .png, things like that. There are lots of different file types out there for pictures, and the computers come equipped to be able to view these. Now I'm going to get out of here. That was my pictures folder. I'm going to show you my embroideries folder because embroideries are different. Computers do not come equipped ready to see embroideries. So as you can see, all of my embroideries just look like blank little documents. They're not showing their picture at all. So if I'm going to go over here to the View tab and change my view, so I can go back to detailed view, it's still just a blank little picture, medium, large. You can see where these should be pictures, it's using just little thumbnails to hold the place. They're picture holders, but they're not pictures because it does not have the coding to be able to understand what an embroidery file is supposed to look like. This is why you must download some type of embroidery software in order to view your files on your computer. Now your embroidery machine is capable of seeing what it looks like because it has the coding built in for that. But your computer is not, so you need software for that. And that's what we're going to look at today. There are different software brands out there that you can purchase that we call thumbnailers. They're different brands that all offer the same thing basically. But Husqvarna Viking and Pfaff both offer a free version for you, so we're going to take a look at that today. To get your free software, you need to open up your Internet Explorer or Firefox or whatever browser you use. Okay, I'm going to go back here to the home page. So HusqvarnaViking.com and Pfaff.com, you can have your choice. Both of them have this option. So what you're going to do once you get to Pfaff.com, you need to go to Support and Updates and get complimentary software. Okay? HusqvarnaViking.com, you need to also go to Support and Updates, which is located here currently. Go to complimentary software. Both of these are pretty much the same. So it's going to have the same info. It looks a little bit different fonts, different style for the different brands, but it's the same software in the end. If you have Windows 7 or 8, you want to get the 6D version. If you have Windows XP or Vista, it recommends the 5D version. And for Mac, you actually need to download a Finder plugin. It's by TrueE. So TrueE is their version of Mac software. So what we want to do at this point, you need to pick whether you have a PC or a Mac. The Mac is a little bit different, so the rest of this video may not apply to you directly, and even what I've shown already might not apply. But if you have a PC, go ahead and pick go to download page PC. Okay, and Pfaff is going to be the same, except there's two big buttons at the bottom, so you would pick this one. Okay, I'm going to show you from the Viking side. Now, if you have not registered with Husqvarna Viking or Pfaff, then you want to put I do not have a previous registration, and it's going to walk you through a registration process. You'll hit next, and you can go through the process to register. I have already registered, so I cannot show you that way. Because I have registered, I'm going to go ahead and enter my credentials. So, be just a second here. When you have all your credentials entered, hit next. So when you get in here, it's going to ask you to confirm your name and email address, or to enter it if you haven't done it already. Hit next. Okay, this is the screen that we need to look at. Now remember, I told you before, if you have Windows XP or Vista, you need the 5D version. You'll click this link. But we are going to do the 6D version today, which you can either click this link and it'll take you the same thing, or mine happens to have it already up on the screen. So I'm going to download all three of these. So I'm just going to hit the download button, and it's going to ask me, do I want to save the file? Hit save file. I'm going to do the same for the plugin. Save file. And same for the 6D embroidery machine communication. And save file. Yours may be a little bit different because our browsers may be different, but it should be roughly the same process. So this gives you a little bit of the description of each of the programs, but this gives you for free the embroidery machine communication module, which you need if you are connecting to a Husqvarna Viking or Pfaff machine. 6D Explorer plugin, which is what we need to go turn all of those embroidery designs into something that we can actually see a visual of. We want to be able to see that that's a Chevy Impala, or you know, that this is a star or a heart embroidery or frog or whatever. So if you want to see that, this is what we're going for. And then you need the device drivers for it to be able to know what to do. So now that I have all of these downloaded, we can minimize those. Now mine went directly to my desktop. You'll see I added 3 icons for the 3 things I just downloaded. Yours, like I said, may have gone into your Windows Explorer and your downloads folder, so you may want to check there, because that's the default location if you haven't specified somewhere else. So from here, we need to go ahead and double click on each of these one at a time so that we can install them. There may be an order that is necessary to these. If it tells us that we're out of the wrong order, then just follow the directions on the screen and go back and do it the other way. So I double clicked on the device drivers. Next, accept the terms. Next. Those are legal things that you'll want to read. I have read them before, so believe it or not, I do actually read those. So it is asking permission because Windows wants to make sure that this is a legitimate program, that it's not some virus overtaking your computer. You have to give it permission to install on most computers. So hit yes. And then it's saying, would you like to install this device driver software? And I put always trust and go ahead and install. And now it says it's installed. Hit finish. So I did the device driver first. We have to go and hit the machine communications. So the next part is we need to hit 6D embroidery machine communications. Pick your language. Accept the terms. Next. Go ahead and hit complete and install. Give it permission. Hit yes. Hit finish. Okay, now we need to go back up here and install the 60 Embroidery System Explorer plugin. Accept the terms. Just keep hitting next. Hit yes. And hit finish. Now when it's done, it says you must restart your computer before you're able to view this. So hit yes to restart now, or no if you plan to restart later. I'm going to go ahead and hit yes, and that is actually going to turn my computer off and restart it. So that's going to pause the program I'm using to record this. But as soon as we're back online, you know, my computer's up and running, then I will show you what that has done to our computer. So go ahead and hit yes to restart, and then you can come back and pick up on the video where we left off, and I will show you the rest. Okay, so we are back. We have restarted our computers, and now all of the 60 Explorer plugin and the machine communication should be on our machine. So we are going to take a look at that, and as you'll notice, you know, hey, the computer doesn't really look a lot different. You don't notice that there's really a program involved. A couple things you might notice is down here, this is called your taskbar area. This whole thing is a taskbar. But down here specifically, you may see this little sewing machine with an X on it. This shows you that the machine communication module has been installed on your computer. The fact that it has an X on it means that you're not currently connected to your embroidery machine. Now once you connect to the embroidery machine, and that's something that will be covered in a different segment, but that will take the X off of it, and you'll see that that'll become functional once you're actually connected to a machine. If you're not connected to a machine, you'll always see the X, but this shows that you have it installed. Now, here's where the difference was. Remember before, we went into our pictures folder and we could see the pictures just fine. But when we went into our embroidery folder, we only saw little white things. Well, look what has come up. We no longer see the little white pages, the little placeholders, or thumbnails. We actually see pictures of the actual embroideries. So if you'll take a look, these are embroidery designs. These are VP3 format. These are not pictures like JPEGs or PNGs. These are VP3 file formats, and our computer now has the coding built in to see them. You'll see if you hover over a design with your mouse, just hover over it, it will bring up information. It's going to show you the type, which is VP3, maybe you've got VIP, maybe you've got PES, or a variety of others. It's going to show you the width and height of your embroidery, so you'll know what size hoop that you need to place that in. It's going to show you the stitch count, the number of color changes, the size of the file, and the date that it was created. So if you were to right click on a design, it's going to bring up this little menu box. So you have the choice. It'll ask you to open it. Unless you have other software that you've purchased, the free software doesn't allow you to open it. If you have purchased software such as 60 software, you know, or 60 Embroidery Extra, or 60 Premiere, or any of the other embroidery softwares out there on the market, doesn't have to be Husqvarna Viking or Pfaff related brands. Those are the kinds that I cover because that's what I use. But there are other brands out there. If you have other brands installed on your computer, then you can open the file in your software. What we have just downloaded does not allow you to open it. So don't be confused when it says that it can't open it. It means that you need to purchase additional software for that. But you'll notice in this we have a 60 embroidery function here. If you hover over this, it brings you a drop-down menu where you can send express directly from here to your machine and send. There's ability to copy stitches. You can convert from other types of files such as VIP or PES or DST or any of the other embroidery file formats, you can convert them into .vp3, and you can also convert it to a picture. So if you want to turn it into a JPEG, you can do that. You'll also notice that you have a Properties tab, and if you click that, it's going to give you all kinds of information and embroidery information, colors, sizes, stitch counts, lots of really great information. You probably aren't going to need to use the security or the details tab so much, but there's information there if you need to know it whatsoever. So these are the basics. There are more options that it offers, but this is the basics for the 60 Embroidery Explorer plugin. So I suggest you go download it and have some fun. It'll really add some great dimension to using your computer in conjunction with your embroidery machine. This is the very basics, the essentials that you really need, in my opinion. So go have fun, and we'll see you later.